How does that work, Dana? Because I see a lot of people, like, people always bring up the fighter pay with the UFC, but what's, like, isn't Logan complaining right now that he didn't get his checks from Floyd? Is that like a boxing issue versus
you don't
boxing thing?
You don't ever hear that coming out.
To this day?
You hear a guy
right
going,
now?
I want to make $30 million, I didn't get paid enough. You don't ever hear guys going, yeah, they didn't pay me yet, ever.
Is that like a boxing issue?
Well, here's what happens when you go in and you do these fights, and you make them. And Hunter, correct me if I'm wrong. You do these fights that are exhibitions or whatever. The commission isn't overseeing it. So let's say I did a fight with Mike. I got Mike fighting, Francis or something. The athletic commission gets the money up front, so they pay the fighters.
Either way, the last thing you nearly need in your life is for things to go wrong and you were showing off how you were a big shot financially when you didn't have to, really. You didn't have to do that. And now you have this egg on your face and things are falling apart. And now people are wondering, did you get screwed or was it your own financial ignorance?
Now, he's accused in multiple lawsuits, all right, of owing millions for luxury watches, gold, and rent as well on the apartment that we just talked about, okay? And so he's got about, I want to say, I counted.
Dana White criticized Floyd Mayweather Jr. for going after another fight with Manny Pacquiao, suggesting the move is financially motivated, calling it disappointing, and raising doubts about his financial situation.
Say what they got to say to try to, to get in there and make money. It's not even going to be funny.
Logan Paul claimed that Floyd Mayweather Jr. still owes him money from their exhibition bout, hinting at possible financial issues and raising questions about Mayweather's current obligations and overall situation.
States with a different company. That is the company that put on the fight. That is the company that paid me. But he sold our fight with my name and likeness to someone else in Dubai for $10 million cash. It's our fight, bro. Our deal was 15%. He smoked me. So I got 15% of it. 15% of $10 million is $1.5 million. Mm-hmm. That company that paid him that money is suing him. I actually don't know the status on that lawsuit. I should check in because he still owes me money, but he has a bunch of legal trouble at the moment that I don't think I'm ever getting the money.
He just sold his house in Vegas.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I think he's facing a bunch.
Rinsed on that house. He started at $14 million. He custom built the house, by the way, in like 2006.
Yeah.
Started at 14, reduced to 12,
yeah.
10, 8 came on the market, and it was a lot of.
Dana White noted that Floyd Mayweather Jr. accumulated enormous wealth over his career, with his largest payday coming from the blockbuster bout against Conor McGregor.
Ever had Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather, which ironically is a boxing event, but it's the biggest combat sports fight ever.
What did that gross?
It did 4.4 or 4.5 million buys at $100 a buy.
Yeah, so that worked out.
According to Wade Plemons, Floyd Mayweather Jr. struggled with managing his money early on, and after his prime years passed, he kept returning to the ring through exhibition bouts to rebuild his finances.
5 years ago now, but that was like the initial rumblings around that fight. And what Floyd did was use Mayweather Promotions to bring them this fight and say, if you'll front us this money, we'll put this fight here. They fronted him the money. He took the money, had the fight at the Hard Rock in Miami with Fanmio instead. That was the company that put it on, Fanmio. And Logan saw none of that front end 10 mil. And the people that paid Floyd the 10 mil never saw a dime back. It's nasty work what he did. But this has been like one of Floyd's MOs, is that he leverages his fight name or his quote unquote assets, and which is what, a lot of wealthy people do. They leverage their assets to take out bigger loans or, whatever. But Floyd does it in such a reckless way that no one ever sees return on it. He just takes money. It isn't a loan.
Joe Rogan said that Floyd Mayweather Jr. handled his fortune loosely, living an ultra-luxurious lifestyle and treating his income as if it would never run out, which may have contributed to financial pressure.
So you buy a watch and a car, you're down 10. Mm-hmm. That's nuts. That's nuts.
Crazy.
I remember Iran Barkley was talking about that. Iran Barkley, when he was in his prime, was hanging out with all these professional athletes, and everybody was getting diamond-crusted chains and this and that, and he was keeping up with these people. Like, you got to keep up with the Joneses. And he just found himself, like, draining all of his money. he was talking about it like that was the biggest detriment to him being able to save any money.
They trying to keep up.
Yeah, which I thought was funny when I was listening to this conversation with Chad Ochocinco. He was talking about it. He was like,
his jewelry fake.
Yeah, he was wearing fake jewelry.
But who would know?
What's that?
Who would know? He
No
Chad
one know.
Ochocinco.
Exactly.
It's
Fake
like when they look
jewelry,
at him, like
flying economy. He was sleep.
Teddy Atlas said that some people take satisfaction in Floyd Mayweather Jr. facing struggles now, because for years he openly flaunted his wealth and lifestyle, which made others feel envious.
Shots had a great fight of Mayweather. Probably the same people that were, applauding him and saying how great he was at one point, and now they're taking shots at him like they're almost, like they get pleasure out of seeing a great fall. Potentially
You're right.
fall. Oh yeah, like you said, he was Mayweather, Money Mayweather, and now he's suing because he went through his money, he blew his money, whatever. Look, I don't know what the truth is fully in there. I know Steven Espinoza was named. He ran Showtime at the time. He was named him. I never was a fan of Espinoza. Again, I'm not afraid to say and not mince my words when I feel a certain way. And I've taken arrows for it, and of course I've also taken some praise for it. That people say, hey, Teddy's going to say what he feels. I was never a fan of him. I never thought he was a man that kept his word. I never thought he really did a great job over at Showtime. I mean, they put some good fights on because the fights were available. Because
Dan Rafael explained that the financial concerns surrounding Floyd Mayweather Jr. aren't particularly surprising when you examine his career and lifestyle closely, suggesting that this outcome could have been anticipated by anyone who followed how openly he managed his wealth over the years. Throughout his journey, Mayweather cultivated an image built on luxury and excess, consistently putting his lavish lifestyle on display with private jets, exotic cars, designer brands, and extravagant vacations, making it not just occasional but a defining part of his public persona.
Hopefully I can get it this afternoon to actually read the specifics of the suit and what the allegations are. But the fact that Floyd would encounter some financial issues post his boxing career is not in any way a surprise to me. When you see the types of things that, if you believe anything that he puts on his social media, the travel that he does, the places he goes, and the amount of entourage he has, I mean, that's like a money pit. I mean, whether you're flying on private jets or you're staying at first class hotels or you're, buying expensive jewelry and cars and bags and you name it. I mean, it's all good when you're making those gigantic paydays and they're coming in, a couple times a year. You're making 40 million here and 25 million there, or even more, 100 million plus, when he fought the big mega fights with guys like Conor McGregor and Manny Pacquiao. But when that stops, that money doesn't.
While that image built a strong sense of success and dominance, it also sparked doubts about long-term financial stability, as Dan Rafael noted that sustaining such an extravagant lifestyle demands careful planning, especially after retirement when steady income begins to slow. Without proper control, even huge fortunes can gradually shrink, meaning the real issue isn't how much was earned, but how it was managed and protected over time. Now, with reports of financial strain and continued participation in exhibition bouts, the situation seems to reflect those earlier concerns, showing that what once appeared to be endless wealth now underlines the importance of discipline and smart decisions beyond the peak of a successful boxing career.
It just didn't ring true to me because Al Heyman, who is not named in the suit, but apparently is supposedly part of this problem, whatever. But I mean, I've known Al Heyman and covered Al Heyman's fighters and his business since the day he stepped in boxing in like 2002 with Vernon Forrest. And all that time, and literally in terms of the PBC, a couple hundred fighters that he's dealt with, maybe not personally, but that his team is and his company. To a fighter, you never hear anybody, even when they're retired and they're not with Al anymore, nobody talks bad about him. In fact, if you ask most fighters, they'll tell you how good to them that he has been. That type of money that they've helped him make and the person that he's.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. was once recognized for constantly showcasing a life of luxury, projecting an image of limitless wealth and financial control, but according to the Boxing Ago host, recent updates point to a very different reality behind the scenes. The analyst describes an unexpected financial setback, referencing legal action Mayweather has taken against major business partners, and over the years he maintained strong relationships with influential figures like Steven Espinoza and networks such as Showtime Networks, partnerships that were crucial in generating huge fight revenues and global exposure. Yet the current lawsuit, reportedly valued at $340 million, alleges that a substantial portion of those earnings was never properly paid.
Go through in this video. Now, I've been covering boxing for double-digit years. Allow me to take you through it. A simple Google search shows Floyd Mayweather. You type in his name, you're going to see some fight photos and whatnot. But the top stories, and there's multiple stories, and we're going to take a look at some of them. But as mentioned, Business Insider is now reporting what you see on the screen, that Floyd Mayweather is being accused in lawsuits of owing millions of dollars for luxury watches, gold, and rent on palatial apartment, right? The bullet points. Floyd was sued for allegedly...
This situation brings up major concerns about financial management, contract transparency, and long-term planning in professional boxing, as the contrast between Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s past image and current legal disputes creates a narrative that feels surprising to many observers. What once looked like total financial control now appears far more complex, suggesting that even the most successful careers can face uncertainty when business dealings become unclear.
Represents the $500K, $500,000 in arrears plus late fees minus a deposit that Mayweather paid at the start of the lease and the $100,000 catch-up payment. So they deducted what he did submit when he was made aware of this, the $100K, and I guess a deposit. So the remaining balance is that. An attorney for Mayweather did not provide a comment by deadline. He has not responded to the lawsuit in court. In a separate legal matter, so we've already went over one with this luxury condo in Manhattan, right? But a separate legal matter, a Miami jeweler sued Floyd Mayweather last month, alleging the boxer owes more than $1 million for jewelry that he took.
Coach Malachi explained that Floyd Mayweather Jr. is currently entangled in a major legal dispute, alleging that roughly $340 million was either withheld or mismanaged through business arrangements involving Steven Espinoza at Showtime Networks. He further suggested that the way these agreements were structured may have shifted or limited liability for certain parties, including Al Heyman, and depending on the exact contract language, it could explain why Heyman is not named in the lawsuit.
In the contract, guess what? Al Heyman is clear. And now it explains why Floyd don't have Al Heyman in the lawsuit. He can't sue him.
Come on, man.
Al covered his tracks. Now, he may be getting sued by big corporations, stuff like that, but he's not being sued by any fighter. They can't sue him. You get what I'm saying? Floyd Mayweather messed up. And adds insult to injury, Floyd Mayweather has a gambling problem, and he spends a lot of money. He loves to spend money. So whatever he have that's in his possession, he's spending that and blowing that on top of the $340 million that he said that's owed to him, meaning that he never really got paid from the Manny Pacquiao and Conor McGregor fight.
Come on, man.
Al Heyman got power of attorney. You dig? And he covered his tracks. So shout out to the brother, man.
The discussion emphasizes how intricate boxing financial agreements can be, often shielding key individuals from legal exposure. At the same time, Coach Malachi argues that spending habits also factor into the picture, noting that Floyd Mayweather Jr. is widely associated with high expenditure, including gambling and an extremely lavish lifestyle. He further suggests that even amid claims of unpaid earnings from major fights against elite opponents, questions around money management still persist. Overall, the perspective presented is that the current situation is shaped by both complex contractual frameworks and personal financial choices, creating a complicated blend of business dealings and lifestyle decisions within the sport.
Been praising him and worshiping him. Continue to praise him and worship him then. You get what I'm saying? You dig? True. And another thing, let's thank Al Heyman.
Well, you know, I guess I gotta be like everybody else and thank Al Heyman.
That's what y'all been doing. You pro Al Heyman and PBC YouTube channels, and a lot of you fan bases online. That's what you've been doing. Continue to praise him then. Al is a smart businessman. He finessed the game. Let's give Al Heyman a round of applause. Good job, Al. You did a good job. And this is a lesson to all of those out there, you know, who think because you signed with the black man that you will not be taken advantage of and the white man is the evil devil. If that's your position, there ain't nothing wrong with that. I don't have a problem with however you feel either way. But just understand, when someone wants to steal from you.
Tasha K explains that even though Floyd Mayweather Jr. often appears to possess massive wealth, the reality behind the scenes can be much more complicated. She notes that large earnings don't always guarantee full financial security, especially when hidden obligations, ongoing business arrangements, and delayed payments exist that the public doesn't see. According to her, these unseen pressures can gradually accumulate and put anyone under strain, no matter how successful they seem on the surface.
Spending. And when you see somebody like Floyd Mayweather, that's the oldest trick in the book, y'all. Y'all know. When y'all see somebody flogging money everywhere, they got this, they got that, they got this. Was it Gervonta Davis? Tank told us 2 years ago that the reason they held Floyd Mayweather, you can put it back on the screen, captain, in Dubai is because he had owed them money and they wouldn't release him until he announced the fight to give them their money back. You know they do that over there in Dubai, right? You ain't going nowhere if you owe a debt. He was trapped over there for almost 2 months, according to Gervonta. They shared the same manager, Al Layman, who collected money in cash because Floyd Mayweather gave him a power of attorney to do so. And so when Floyd went down there and sued Showtime, he's suing Showtime, the company, the network, that publicizes.
She points to a common financial pitfall: living freely while obligations steadily build up in the background. In the case of Floyd Mayweather Jr., the constant display of luxury can create the impression of unlimited wealth, but beneath that image there may be significant ongoing expenses, investments, and commitments that require a steady flow of cash. When income slows or becomes irregular, those responsibilities can quickly create financial pressure. Tasha K emphasizes that real wealth isn't just about how much is earned, but how effectively it is managed over time, since even enormous fortunes can come under strain without careful planning. In her view, financial overextension often develops quietly, turning success into stress when spending remains high while hidden liabilities continue to grow.
Gave his money in cash to his manager, Al Layman, and Al Layman spent the money. The Muslim in the bow tie spent the money. You see a man coming and he a Muslim in a bow tie, he's spending your money. Oh, it's gone. It's good as gone. You know they send the Nation of Islam down there. You seen the Muhammad Ali story? Don't act like you ain't seen that. Nation of Islam was all up over there. They were all up over Floyd Mayweather's fights and bank accounts and stuff. And so he received it in cash, and Floyd Mayweather is saying he's missing it, and how dare Showtime gives him the money without his permission. He was like, well, wait a minute, but you gave him permission. Yeah, but I didn't tell y'all, I told him. So he's trying to use a way to get in there so he can hold him responsible, because he know he's not going to get the money back from the Nation of Islam at all. That money gone.
Paulie Malignaggi explains that much of the attention and scrutiny around Floyd Mayweather Jr. comes from how openly he showcased his wealth during his career. According to him, if Mayweather had kept his finances private, far fewer people would be questioning his situation today. Instead, the constant display of luxury sparked curiosity and encouraged closer examination from both fans and analysts. Over time, Mayweather built a public identity centered on extreme wealth, frequently highlighting expensive cars, private jets, and large amounts of cash as part of his image.
Seeing how much Floyd was making, right? And Floyd himself was flaunting himself like he was the guy who was making that kind of money. And for all intents and purposes, I assume he was. Everybody assumed he was, and seemed like he thought he was, because he wasn't complaining. He was showing off, you know? This is why, as I get older, I feel like, and everybody always tells you this when you're young, like, keep your finances private. You know, and this is why I think this is a big reason why. First and foremost, you notice that if you don't keep your finances private, everybody and their mothers ask you for money constantly, and they don't ask you for.
That happens either way.
And they don't ask you. Well, people assume you have money, but if you flaunt it, you definitely they confirm you have money. And they don't ask you for money like you need to buy the Rolex or the Lamborghini. They'll guilt you into it. They need their mother's dying in the hospital. They need to pay for a funeral.
While that approach strengthened his personal brand, it also meant that any change in financial standing would instantly draw attention. Paulie Malignaggi suggests that this level of visibility has led people to question not only Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s current financial position, but also his earlier choices in money management and investments. The debate isn't just about whether he is facing financial issues, but about the image created through years of publicly displaying extreme wealth, because when someone is seen as endlessly rich, even small changes become highly noticeable. Malignaggi argues that more financial privacy could have reduced much of this speculation, but instead every decision is now closely analyzed, fueling ongoing discussion about strategy, investments, and long-term planning.
Oh, honestly. But offhand, you're asking me what my thoughts are offhand. I can never... Listen, when I had a lot of money, I was a lot of times spending more, and I wasn't tracking every single cent, right? I mean, I was kind of reckless. I was young. I was, a pro athlete. I went from having nothing to having a bunch of money. So, yeah, I'm not always tracking it as well as I should. But, bro, if I'm missing a lot of difference money, if there's a huge difference, I'm going to track it automatically just because it's so obvious. $340 million, no matter how much money you're making, $340 million does not slip through the cracks, like you said.
Third of $1 billion.
It's not, I don't know. Like, there's guys who have a lot of money, okay? For me, I could go into a jewelry store, spend $20,000 at the time, like nothing. Like, you know what? I didn't plan on going there. I bought a Ferrari. I went to my...
That's it for today's video.